Welcome back to Syberia 3. We've made it to the port. There's a large ship here which we're going to have a look at later. For now, I'm just going to run around the side and see if I can find some people to talk to. Okay. Oh, looks like the game crashed there for a second.
Are you okay, sir? One more step and you were in the drink.
I-N-O.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud crystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, Taylor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, Sailor. You understand? Bastard's waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on, back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
Okay, so we're looking for, I think his name is Steiner, the clockwork maker, who was supposed to be working on Kirk's leg. Maybe someone at the tavern will have some information about him. Someone's sleeping on the bench there. I can't move at the moment. Oh, there we go. I've got control back again.
A tavern?
So,
Excuse me, please, miss.
Yes?
I'm looking for Simon Steiner's.
Simon Steiner is my grandfather. My name is Sarah. Sarah Steiner.
Pleased to meet you, Sarah. I'm Kate Walker. Can you tell me where I can find your grandfather's workshop?
Of course. You'll find his shop is at the end of the alleyway, on the left, just as you leave it, in the main avenue. Can I ask what you want with him? Because he's rather old, you know.
I'm accompanying the Youkol caravan. Apparently your grandfather is supposed to be making a mechanical prosthesis for Kirk, their spiritual chief, who had a bad accident recently. Without the artificial leg, Kirk won't be able to go along with the great migration of his people. And on top of that, the Youkols won't leave without their guide.
You're accompanying the Youkols? My God, you're so terribly lucky. When I was little, Grandfather used to tell me all about their adventures, full of mystery and magic.
Do you like life in Valsembor?
Oh, there's really not that much to talk about here, you know. I spend all my time here or with Grandfather since he got sick.
There was no one who could keep an eye on him for you?
We can't afford it, I'm afraid. I also think I prefer it this way. My grandfather is my only family.
I guess you're pretty close to your grandfather?
Yes. Of course he can get a bit grumpy. Especially the last few years. But he's actually really adorable. And you should see the work he does. Give him a few cogs and springs and he'll give you some unbelievably incredible invention. He almost makes mechanical objects seem alive.
I see exactly what you mean. I used to know someone like that too.
The only problem we have is that business collapsed when he got sick. I really do believe that if I didn't have the waitressing jobs to make ends meet, we'd probably have to close up shop.
You seem to like the Youkol, Sarah. I get the impression that's rare in Valsembor.
It's true that when it comes to the Youkols, people around here can be a bit silly. They go out of their way to make the nomads scapegoats for all of the town's problems since they got stuck here.
But you don't, do you?
Of course not. Grandfather told me that he has actually seen 3 or 4 of the great ostrich migrations in his lifetime, and he always really respected those strange people. He even made sure I would admire them too, you know.
Thank you for your help.
I'll be stopping in to see Grandfather on my next break. Maybe I'll see you there.
Yes, I hope so. Goodbye, Sarah.
Okay, so she gave us the way to the clockwork shop. Let's chat with the bartender first.
Ah, miss, delighted to see that you finally managed to leave the Youkol camp.
Yes, thank you very much for the pass.
Well, now that you're at last here, you'll be able to taste my famous borscht.
It would be my pleasure, but I do have to find Steiner the clockmaker right away.
Simon Steiner? Ah, in that case, you should speak with Sarah, our young waitress. She's his granddaughter.
So he's the guy who was at the vegetable market in the Youkol village, and he gave us the pass so that we could escape. Let's ask him about the captain.
I met that man recently. A certain Captain Oboe. He doesn't seem very with it.
And he's been that way for 20 years, miss. 20 years. Can you imagine? He used to command the Crystal, the boat that made the crossing between here and the amusement park, on the other side of the lake. And he wasn't the same man then.
Is Simon Steiner well known here in Valsembor?
For a long time, he was rather popular. You know, he isn't just a clockmaker. He knows everything about mechanical objects. He repaired everything for everybody here in Valsembor. He also designed the amusement park on the other side of the lake with a colleague of his. A French automaton creator, if I remember right. You could say Valsembor owes a lot to Simon Steiner, miss. So when he got sick, I offered to hire Sarah to help a little. You understand?
Sure.
How are things in town? They don't seem to be going that well.
If you ask me, the atmosphere is horrible. At least half the people don't want the Youkols right at our door. Most of the shopkeepers even made the decision to go on strike over what they saw as unfair competition. Also, Valsembor hasn't been the same in the last 20 years. There it is.
I'm off. Thank you again for your help.
See you soon, miss.
So let's follow the directions and see if we can find this Steiner character. We need to head down the alley and then take a left. The mouse keeps disappearing. Let's just head around here to the left. Camera's a little bit wonky, but that's okay. This path does kind of go around in a big loop.
Lost your way, pretty girl?
Just head up the stairs here, and that's the Steiner's shop. Let's take a look in the window.
Steiner. Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Youkol spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker?
What? Are you calling me a thief, Mr. Steiner? I haven't stolen anything from anyone. This is all I have left of my friend Oscar. Give it back to me right now.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
I know.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from.
Oh, don't bother locking me in, Mr. Steiner. If you must know, the truth is that Hans Vorarlberg was someone who was very important to me. I accompanied him on a very strange journey throughout Europe. And that object in your hand is the only souvenir I have of that adventure.
That proves nothing, Himmelherrgott! Hans would never have given this to...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication. Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away.
Okay, let's take a look around. There's a cup on the counter here. Let's grab that. An empty cup. We're going to have a walk around here. We do need to find his prescription, so there's lots of stuff in these drawers, but nothing we can use. The only thing we want is over here on the right in the center. This is Steiner's prescription, so I'm going to read that. Let's go to journals. There we go. Okay, Dr. Ziamatine, Valsembor Clinic, prescription, 2 vials of spironolactone, 3 boxes of lacelectide. Capsules take daily, preferably at tea time. So we need to figure out how to get these capsules. They're actually hidden in the Cocoon Clock. They come out at a specific time. Trying to figure that out on your own, I guess, would be pretty hard to do. Let's take a look at the Cocoon Clock here. We're going to place the cup just down below. And we're going to change this to tea time, which is actually 5 o'clock. Oh. 5. Oh. Actually need to circle your mouse around to make this thing move. There we go. Okay, so that's the medication. Let's quickly give it to Steiner before he passes out or something, or dies. Scroll down to the cup. Let's place it in his hand.
Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Youkols. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Youkols.
You'd do that, Mr. Steiner? That would really be a great help.
So, perfect. But dear Miss Walker, are you aware of what lies in store for the nomads when they reach the other side of the lake?
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor cursed town of Baranor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration.
Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean.
Okay, let's follow him downstairs. Have a look in the box. There is something that we want here. The film reel. Alright, so let's grab that. Lots of clocks around here. Let's take a little look around. There's this boat here as well. So we can take a look at this. We can switch the lights on as well. Let's do that. That's the boat that we've seen outside the crystal.
Kirk's prosthesis. But it looks like it isn't finished.
I don't know what this is.
A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner."
Okay, so that's another clue for the medication for the Cocoon Clock. Newspaper clipping, we should take a look at that. Seems important. The Lake Gazette, Baranor local news, incident at the nuclear plant, authorities downplay effects. Tempest in a teapot was how the mayor of Baranor, Anatoly Mikhailov, described the incident yesterday that has worried the communities around the local nuclear power plant. Okay. It would seem that a minor technical incident was at the origin of the alarm. The power test conducted on reactor number 3 caused radiolysis of the cooling water, which in turn caused small inconsequential detonations that were sufficiently loud to lead nearby inhabitants to legitimately react. Okay. Underground flooding and fire raging. Okay. Record number of visitors for the Baranor amusement park. I'm not sure if they should be having an amusement park in the same place as the radiation towers here, but anyway. Right, so let's use the newsreel and the film reel and see what we can see. No, I can't use it here. Oh, wait a minute. I should be able to use it here. No, I need to look a little more closely at this first.
Baranor, the cursed city. Baranor, the martyred town. Baranor has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation since a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Valsembor is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing winds, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to such catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, nicht wahr? The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Valsembor, where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zamyatin's clinic. The Crystal, the fairy usually responsible for linking the towns of Valsembor and Baranor every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama, and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who... Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you.
We can have a little bit of a look around, but I think I've seen everything already, so let's just head upstairs. Sarah should be visiting.
Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
We've actually already met. Haven't we, Sarah?
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zamyatin examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Youkol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Youkol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Crystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
Of size?
What on earth do you mean?
Obo became a poor wreck when he simply abandoned our automatons in Baranor. The coward now drowns his sorrows in vodka. He's convinced that he fled because of the monster in the lake. Heh! Apparently the imbecile saw the monster, Himmelgott. So he went back on his tracks, abandoning all the automatons in Baranor as well as the people they were there to rescue.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans in Baranor. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsembor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baranor and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation, he must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the Crystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsembor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Youkols. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baranor is only an open grave now.
Well, we're going to go and find out. The only way to get there, though, is if we can convince Captain Obo to to captain the ship. Okay, we can run all the way around this way, but it's quite a journey. It's a big loop around this town. It's probably quicker just to run back this way. Yeah, if you go the other way, you come out from this side, down the street here. Okay, back into the tavern. The captain's probably still here, getting drunk in the corner.
Captain Obo?
What do you want?
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Crystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because, did you know? So there. So the guy answers, I don't know nothing, Captain. Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster, her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee, it's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo.
Right, there's got to be some way to sober him up a little bit. Let's have a chat.
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Youkol caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baranor. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baranor, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear.
You know the captain better than I do. What can you tell me that will help me to convince him?
One thing's for sure, he definitely hates himself for abandoning all those people to their fate over there in Baranor. All of those men, women, and children that Grandfather's army of automatons was going to rescue and bring back on board the Crystal. He has the impression nobody here will ever forgive him, and to be perfectly honest, he's not far wrong. Plus, he's also racked with guilt. So in my opinion, avoid criticizing him.
Sometimes it sounds like these parts of the conversations are sped up a little. Especially with certain characters like Sarah.
Has Captain Obo taken the crystal out of port since leaving Baranor?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baranor 20 years ago.
Do you think the crystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baranor?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the crystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baranor, they're all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
Okay, great. Let's hang out over here and wait for that. We'll check out the painting in a minute.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This pisswater unbattens the hatches, swabs the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, Miss.
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo?
This is good news, Captain. You're back at the starting block again. You have a new beginning, a new dawn.
Now that's a good show of spirit, Miss Walker. What'll you be having now? It's my round.
What I'd like you to do is to help me, Captain. I could even say you're the man of the hour.
What do you mean by that, young lady?
The Youkol caravan has to cross the lake now. It absolutely must continue on its migration, do you understand? So I thought that maybe they could board the crystal. That way you could take everybody there, to the other side, Captain. I know you don't have fond memories of your last crossing, of your departure from Baranor, but...
Why the hell are you bothering me if everybody has already warned you about horrible Captain Obo? The gutless wonder.
You're right, Captain. It's safe to say that people don't have a particularly high opinion of you. But I think you're afraid to know where I want to take the Youkols.
No, listen to her. All right then. Tell me where Miss Walker actually wants me to take her in my old tub.
Okay, let's not mention Baranor specifically.
You won't like this.
Stop going easy on me, would you? Where do you actually want to go, Miss Walker?
We're going to Baranor. That's where the migration is taking the Youkols.
Are you kidding? Baranor? In 20 years, nobody has landed. Nobody's even set foot there. I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. Beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Youkol friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
In that case, I'll buy the crystal.
What makes you think she's up for sale?
You've left her in the port to rot. She's completely run down. You haven't the money to keep her shipshape. I have money, and I need that ferry.
She's a ferry, not a liner. And the girl wants to take the helm of the crystal. Now I've heard everything.
I know that if the Proud Crystal had an equally proud commander at her helm, things would go better. But as you don't want to go on a voyage...
No, believe me, miss. I wouldn't really be doing you any favors by helping you.
Captain, please.
I'm sorry, but it's no.
Listen, Kate. Don't go giving up just yet. I'm pretty sure the captain can still be convinced.
He seemed pretty categorical, I'm afraid.
There must be some way. Go explore his boat. The crystal has always been like a home to him. Who knows? You may find something there that'll make him change his mind.
Why not? I'll give it a try. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. We're going to take her advice and go and explore the crystal. So there's nothing over this way to the left. It's just a fence there blocking the path. Okay, so there's a doorway inside here. There's one here. They both go to the same large room. For the passengers, we need to get up one level to the captain's quarters or his office or something. If we turn around, oh, no, let's head down this way.
Hello? Anyone here?
Let's head down here a little bit. Yeah, and then we can see the stairs up. Just here, we're going to check out this desk. Captain Oboes logbook. Let's read this, see if we can find any clues. Fyodor Ivanovich Oboe, proud commander of the Crystal. He's not so proud now. Okay, I'm a man, and because I am a man. I wish you could change pages here, but we need to go back every time. Okay. 5th of the 2nd, that was written by a coward. Coward, the title is less prestigious than captain. It was nevertheless preferable to the prospect of once again being confronted with the lake and the red eyes that lurk there. Its eyes. I suppose I should start from the beginning. I won't read all of this, but you can read it. Pause the video if you'd like. To read the entire story about how he came across this monster.
No matter what the captain says, this part clearly shows he wanted redemption. I have to go back and talk to him about this.
Okay, let's find out what this part says. Baranor is the town just across from Valsembor, on the other side of the lake. Okay. Lots of people survived the meltdown. The mission was simple: unload the rescue team on the beach at the Baranor amusement park, wait for them to come back with the survivors, then take everyone back to the Valsembor clinic. Despite the risk and terrible sight of all those bodies, the first few crossings went as planned, and things got out of control because that's when it arrived. Fear. Everybody who says my name now the way you spit on the sidewalk will tell you, after all those crossings, that radiation finally put the wind up Oboe's sails. Okay, so he saw something. So yes, I know I can never make up for the harm I caused by abandoning the rescuers and the last survivors in Baranor. That damned me forever. I'd also be lying if I never thought about going back to challenge the monster fair and square. Look it right in the eyes and try to make up for my crimes. Well, he might just get that chance. Regardless, the only thing that counts for me now is keeping the lake and its inhabitants safe from my presence on board the Crystal, and... No more pretending. The truth is that I need to protect myself from the lake and that cunning devil it hides at all costs. Okay. Well, let's go back to Captain Oboe now that we have a bit more information. See if we can convince him to take us out on the Crystal.
Don't get disheartened, Kate. I'm sure you can find a way to change the captain's mind.
What on earth do you want with me now?
I took a look at your logbook, Captain. I read what you wrote when you fled Baranor.
So in that case, you know what I am, right? I'm damned and rotten to the core.
Let me tell you something, Captain. I know that you need to redeem yourself, and I just may be able to help you do that.
How in the hell?
Take the Youkol caravan to Baranor in the Crystal. The migration must go that way.
No, that's impossible. You can't go to there anymore. Never again. Too much happened. Too many died. And also there, in the water.
Captain, I think it's time for you to clear your head of all these fanciful stories designed to scare people. Everywhere in the world where the water is deep, people have come up with legends designed to keep children safe. Come on, get up, Captain Obo. Show me what you're made of.
Miss Walker, first of all, I have to say that you're an incredibly stubborn woman. I'd even say that you're a real, Anyway, I'll stop there. But I get it.
And what am I to conclude from your appraisals?
All right. You can get your gang of little savages and board the Crystal. I'll take you.
Oh, thank you, Captain, really, with all my heart. And thank you on behalf of the Youkols.
Oh, but be careful now, Captain Girl. You're not there yet. There are 2 conditions, and they aren't negotiable. First, we stop by Narrows. It's a little town just a bit south of Baranor. That will mean we avoid the most radioactive zones, but it won't actually take you too far off your path. And second, we also sail by day. I'm not going to finish up on the Lake Monster's plate. And it sleeps during the day. The beast is usually a bit of a night owl anyway.
I accept, Captain Obo.
In that case, all hands on deck now, sailor, because we've got work to do before we can hoist the anchor.
Come on, Kate. You hurry off and meet with the captain before he changes his mind. I'll go tell Grandfather to join you on board the Crystal with Kirk.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, brilliant. We have the captain now. He's going to take the Youkols across. Quick look at the painting here.
That shape there in the water. What is it?
Could that be the beast that Captain Obo was talking about? Well, we might find out next time. That's all for now. See you all again soon for more Syberia 3.